Hi guys, welcome back to another crafty video. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing this, react to this video, top 5 tips for Perler beginners. I'm going to be giving my own opinion on the tips and what I think about them. So let's get into it.
And welcome back to Perler. My name is Kevin and today I'll be giving you the top 5 tips for Perler bead beginners. Let's do this. Number 1 is buy individual colours instead of mixed. Now what do I mean by mixed? I mean things like this. So this is...
Yeah, definitely. I'll do that. Definitely need to buy individual colours, but our kits have all the beads pre-sorted, and you can buy them for the same price as you could buy them all the mixed colours. So you save the time, and you don't have to pay the price for that. So that's actually really good. So for example, here that's 22,000 beads. And let's see what he says, how much he bought them for.
Perler bead, 22,000 assorted colours in a bucket container. And let me tell you, this was really, really cheap on Amazon. It was about $10 US, I think.
Yeah, so that means you get £2,200 Perler beads for for $1, which is really good. You can, for example, you can buy 1,000 Hama beads for about £3, I think is what it is. It's the average price, so that's 6 times cheaper to buy the mix. But obviously what we do is we offer that 6 times cheaper price with all the beads pre-sorted in our kit. So I'll leave the top link in the description below if you do want to get into Hama beads and you're a beginner. Definitely buying that kit might be a good idea.
So I was like, cool, I'll buy 4 of them. That's, 88,000 different beads. I don't have to buy individuals anymore. So I got them. It was really, really nice. And then I started sorting through them. And wow, it took a long time. I'm talking like 20 to 30 hours for each container. But
that means you're sorting out 1,000 beads an hour. It's pretty slow. I think you could have done faster than that. But it does take a long time to sort them.
Obviously, I spanned that over a few days, but it just drags on a lot, and you actually have to individually, sort 22,000 beads, and it's not the prettiest thing. I actually eventually bought individual packets. It just saves you a lot of time. It's more expensive, but trust me, it's definitely something that I would suggest. Number 2 is stock up on the main colours. Here, I'll show you. What's really cool is I'm showing you my...
Yeah. So, for beginners, this isn't so important because you're going to be making small things anyway. So you could just buy 1,000 packs or a kit from us or from another seller of kits. I recommend kits if you're beginning out because they're quite easy to follow. Obviously, we have YouTube videos as well on our channel, so that will make it even easier if you buy our kit. Black, white, red, yellow, grey, green. For advanced people, yeah, definitely agree with those. Sand, light, brown, tan, probably not. I've never used sand or tan. Light brown I have used, but it's really hard to get your hands on. And I definitely add blue on that list, definitely. So that's what he says.
Actual collection as well as the main colours. So these are normally what I Perler bead with. I use off these. These are really good. They're not very user-friendly. This is actually a really, really underappreciated color. It's called sand, but it's very, very good for skin tones. Normally, if you buy individuals, they're in a 1,000 bag, 1,000 Perler bead bag. But I also have these, and you mainly find the main colors will be in the 6,000 Perler bead bags, and I really, really recommend you get at least 2 of each of the main colors. You think 6,000 is a lot, it looks like a lot, but trust me, it goes by so quickly. You'll blink and literally you'll be gone. I've had to already refill, I think, my whites. So other colors, they have 6,000.
For beginners, I wouldn't say black's so important. It's mainly for outlining things. And I remember with kits, you don't really use many black beads. But yeah, or when you're watching YouTube video, basic ones, you don't really use many black beads. But if you're getting more advanced, you want to see what you can make, and you're kind of going independent, trying to make your own random things, That is definitely very important, so I would agree with that. But not for beginner styles, it's more of advanced level, you need those.
Is the grey. White is probably the second most used colour. The first used colour the most is black. So you want to have at least, I'd say, anywhere between like 15,000 and 20,000 blacks on you at all time, because you use it literally for everything. Red is another colour, nearly out of that. The blue, this is actually a darker blue. I find myself, I don't use it as much as you think.
Yeah, maybe you need more advanced you want to use it, but I think you do definitely use blue quite a lot. A lot of my creations have contained blue. The Greek flag. The motorbike. A lot of them, yeah. So, I would say for beginners though, maybe not so much blue. But the same with all the colours here, really. I think you should have 1,000 bags if you're a beginner. So that's how I'll change it. Just have 1,000 bags and then forget about sand, light brown and tan. Because they're not really necessary and they're hard to get hold of.
Really just the black, grey, white, the red, green, and yellow. So I like to stock up with at least 2 bags of each, but I've blown through a bit of them. But I just did like a huge order before, so that's why I have quite a bit of Perler beads here. For all like these other like miscellaneous like random colours, like this really like lightish yellow. Another thing with these, so this is one I'm nearly done with. It's like my third last one. They come a lot.
Orange beads, I would say, is a bit more. I wouldn't say it's important, but I would say it's definitely more important than sand, tan, and light brown. But obviously, it's his opinion.
With the neon colours, so I'd say probably about like 5,000 to 8,000 of those beads are actually neon colours, and you actually don't need to use a lot of those neon colours like ever. So that's another downside to like those
Yeah, I don't really use many neon beads. I would agree with that.
Buckets. They give you like the cheaper colours. Number 3 is understand the heat levels on your iron. So when you start out, you have obviously your iron, and most likely it's going to have.
Let's see what you're saying. I don't really understand it at the moment.
1, 2, 3 on the heat levels, but you're normally not going to know which heat level suits you the best. So you might start off between 1.5 to 2.5. What actually happens is the more hotter it gets, the more quicker it melts, obviously.
Oh, right. You're talking about when you iron your beads. I think when I first learned hem beads, I absolutely squashed them. It wasn't very good, so yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. Make sure your iron is on the easy setting. It can be a pain to iron sometimes. You need good quality balls. The balls we have in our kits are actually quite good quality, so I'll leave that to the description below. Make sure to check them out. Also, this guy, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. His name's Perler, I think. I'll leave a link to his channel in below. He looks quite interesting. I think he's got some Christmas videos on there. So you might want to go watch him. Yeah, so definitely go with the ironing thing. Be careful with your iron. So yeah, that's what he has to say.
But that means you have to be really, really good at distributing your iron when you're doing a big Perler bead piece, because some pieces will actually melt quicker on the Perler beads, which means.
See, I leave mine on my board, and then when I take it off, I can iron it separately. But I'd leave it on the board and then iron it and then take it off again. And also, did you notice that the one he's just ironing, he's got them right in the background on his wall?
The actual look of it, it's going to be more solid, it's going to be less circular, and then you have parts which actually don't melt at all, and it's just going to be like this weird like mixture, and you look back at it and just be like, oh, I was such a noob. I started off, I think, with 1.5, and I was just wondering why it just took so damn long to melt. So I eventually bumped it up to 2 to 2.5, but sometimes I just do 3 now, just because I understand the motion and how to control my heat levels. So if I wanted something really, really quick, I'd go 3, but normally I go.
I love his Pikachu in the background though. I think it's pretty good. I think it's really cool.
Around 2 and 2.5, but each iron, I should say, is completely different. So make sure you understand it. Number 4 is get a lot of pegboards. So this is Like, I got a lot of pegboards, I'm not gonna lie. There is quite a few here.
Yeah, definitely. Because you might want to make creations of picking on pegboards. But I think for beginners though, you don't really need many. Because if you're only making small things and ironing straight after, that's fine. I mean, unless you want to make like loads of things, and then you want to iron or what. But I think for a beginner, you're making small stuff. You could always like do 2 people on the same board, really. So I think definitely a more advanced person, you make stuff over multi boards. You've got a board, but I think this is a beginner. You don't really need that many boards.
They're actually, majority of them actually off eBay, which is not actually a bad thing because they're super cheap on eBay. And because I use the masking tape method, and if you don't know what that is, that's essentially you take masking tape and you put it on top of the beads, stick it onto the masking tape, then you take the pegboards off, so you don't actually have to physically iron the pegboards. And I do recommend that. That's probably, I should have put that in the top 5 tips. But anyways, you got an extra tip right there. So you're going to need a lot of...
Yeah, I've never used that method, but I know a lot of people do use it. I think it's just a bit of a hassle. I think like you can just, I would just leave it on the board really. As I was saying earlier when you were talking about the iron, I think just leave it on the board. It might melt the paint, but as long as you're doing it carefully, it won't. And you're at as much risk of melting it down as you are, melting hand beads down as you are melting the boards when you have it off it. So I don't think really it's the best tip.
These square pegboards are actually, they connect together. They got these little like things that connect. I don't know what the real name of that thing is, but they connect. There's different shapes. There's bears, which I've never used, a hexagon. The circles are pretty good. They're quite nice. Yeah, so I started off with I think just 4 pegboards, and realistically, it was great until I realised I needed a lot more. Eventually, I just bought a lot of pegboards. I think I got about 12 of these.
Yeah, but this is for beginners, and he's just said that 4 pegboards is enough for beginners at the start, and I would agree that 4 pegboards is enough. You don't need to buy more pegboards, and this for beginners, 4 is fine. When some of these tips, I think, so like the second tip and this one are definitely more for advanced people. I think for beginners, you don't need so much, but you can just dial back on how much you have, from what he's saying.
Square ones, so I can do really, really big projects if I want to. This is like a giant one. I got it from Perler.com. I suggest getting nearly everything from there because it's the really cool stuff. This is huge. It's massive.
Maybe I should get one of those. They look absolutely ridiculous. I mean, just the size of them.
It's very good. The only bad part is I believe you cannot connect it. So if you have 2 of these, you can't actually connect them and continue on. So
yeah, but why do you need 2 of those? They're so big. It's not like. Anyway.
You've got to be really careful with these. You don't want to work on things that are possibly going to go over the actual pegboard count because then you'll be screwed. You can't actually add it on. So the 5th and final tip is, this might actually be really obvious, but watch the professionals Perler bead on YouTube. So there is a lot of Perler beaders. Some are good, some are...
Yeah, what? Definitely. Watch Crafty Bead.
Better than that, some are alright, some are amazing. You can watch all of them, but I like to watch the ones that are really, really successful because naturally you'll see the way they iron things and it is just really nice. They give really, really good tips. I don't know how they do it. Like, I try to remember to give all the tips in each video, but essentially I keep forgetting, and my bad, my bad, I'm sorry. Some of the ones I recommend are Cutie Crafts, Philo Pixie, and I think it's called the Pixel Art Show, or the Pixel Art Shop.
Right, I've seen Cutie Class, I've seen the Pixel Art Shop, but I've never seen Philo Pixie. Right, anyway.
I don't know. I will link them at the bottom of the description. Make sure...
You should link me. We can have a look at see who Philo Pixie
check
is.
them out. And watch mine, but I've just started out. I'm only a few months in, and I'm not the greatest, but I'm learning. Everything is a journey, and you must learn. So if you guys enjoyed this video, do let me know in the comment section. If you have any other questions or queries, I'm happy to answer them. I will do it to the best of my knowledge. I'm still learning just as you are, and I think that's really, really important. But these are just really the 5/6 tips that I would give myself.
Yeah. So I agree with most of those, apart from number 2 and number 4. They're actually, I think, a bit not. They're from more advanced people. But the other ones, yeah, are definitely good tips. I think what he's saying is, for number 2 and 4, is getting a lot of stuff. But at beginner level, you don't need a lot of stuff. But I think it's like moving from beginner to more advanced. That's when you're going to need more stuff, because that's when you're trying to make bigger stuff. I wonder who Philo Pixie is. Wait a second. Oh. This person doesn't... Wait, is this person supposed to do hammer beads? Well, they haven't uploaded for 2 years. And none of the stuff on here I see is... Oh, here we go. Oh, he went to VidCon. Cool. Release these days. Alright, cool. I've never heard of her before. Anyway, that's for today's video, guys. I'll see you next time.